Hello, my name's Robin Lambert, I'm 19 years old and living with cerebral palsy, but you guys know me as the T-Rex, and you're watching my T-Rex Life. Okay guys, today I want to talk about equality, fairness, and inclusion, and what that means for people with disabilities. Now, these words are often thrown around within the disabled community, or, in regards to how best to cater and care for people with disabilities. And it's often thought that they're, sort of interchangeable, but the fact is they're not, and they're all slightly different, and they all result in a different outcome for people with disabilities. And they're often the difference between a first class and a second class experience for people with disabilities, and them feeling like a first class or second class citizen. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about each one, what I think they mean, and the outcomes that I think that they get for people with disabilities. So first off, starting with equality. For me, equality is the baseline, and it's the first thing that we should have right across the board. Equality means that everyone is treated equally. Everyone gets the same thing, and everyone gets the same opportunity to do something or to experience something. Now for me, this is like the first step. For me, this is like if two people are applying for a job. One is disabled and one is able-bodied, and they have the exact same skills and skill level, and they're applying for a job which requires those skills, then they should have the exact same opportunity to get that job. And the one that is slightly better should come out on top, whether it's the one with disability or whether it's the able-bodied one. Equality for me is everyone being able to access education. Whether you're disabled or you're able-bodied, having access to education. That's the baseline, that's equality. It means that people are not discriminated against because of their disability. People aren't told that, no, you can't do this, or no, you can't experience this because you have a disability. It's people, and it's being, on a human level, it's being seen as the same. It's not being seen as any less or any more because you have a disability. But like I said, for me, that's the first step. The second step is fairness. So that means that once we've gained education or employment, it's having our individual needs catered to. So we recognise that a person with a disability and an able-bodied person are going to have slightly different physical abilities, or slightly different intellectual needs if it's an intellectual disability. So fairness is being able to cater for those individual needs in order for them to have the same opportunities to succeed at that job. So for me, taking education as an example, at school I had equal opportunity to get into school, I had equal opportunity to get involved in a certain course, and equal opportunity to sit a certain test. But when it came to that test, I needed fairness. I needed my individual needs to be catered for in order for me to have the same opportunity as everyone else to succeed in that test. So for me, that meant because of my hand impairment, I couldn't write as fast as everyone else. So in order for me to have the same opportunity as everyone else to succeed in that test, to finish that test, I needed extra time to complete that test. And for me, that's fairness. That's that second step. That's where we ultimately want to see everyone. So equality is, there's a fence, and everyone is given the exact same height box to stand on to be able to see over that fence, regardless of size. Fairness is everyone being given different boxes depending on their size. So in the end of it, everyone's heads and eyes are aligned so they can see over that fence and they can get the same view of whatever's on the other side. And the same thing should happen with inclusion. A lot of people think inclusion is just allowing people to do something, allowing someone to be involved in something. So, that's allowing them to do sport in class, or allowing them to attend the same school as everyone else. A lot of people see that as inclusion. To me, that's not true inclusion. Inclusion is, again, allowing them to be involved in that particular activity, but also adapting it slightly to cater to that person's needs. And again, to give them the same opportunity to be able to succeed in whatever opportunity that was. So in school, I had two sport teachers. One of them was rubbish. She made me despise sport, and she made me feel like a second-class citizen, because she constantly told me, you can't do this, go to the library. You can't do this, sit out. oh, I don't think this is going to work for you, maybe just watch, take some notes. And I knew that I was athletic. I knew that I had sporting ability, and if I was given the right opportunity, I could succeed and I could showcase my athletic ability. But she wasn't willing to adapt anything or to change anything or to think about how I could be involved in a way that was equal to everyone else. And then I had another sport teacher, and she said, you know what, Robin, this week we're playing basketball. We know that you struggle with mobility and running, but you're a really good shooter, and your strategic game planning and all that kind of stuff is on point. So how about this week when we do basketball, you bring in your wheelchair basketball chair, because we know you're good at pushing and you're a lot more agile and you don't fatigue as much, so bring in your wheelchair and we'll just play like that. And I did. And you know what? I was there, I was zooming around the court, I was scoring goals, I was defending, I was blocking shots, and a whole bunch of people came up to me afterwards and said, wow, Robin, you're really good at sport. Like, I didn't know how good at sport you were. We are totally impressed. Like, do you want to be on my team next week? Because you're just like kicking butt out there. And it showed everyone that I do have athletic ability and that I am capable of being an excellent sports person. But I just need those slight accommodations made and that slight adaptation for me to be as successful as my peers. So to me, that is inclusion. Another example, recently I was invited to join a sporting group within athletics for talented individuals. It's like a pathway program to help them, step up to that next level. And I thought, awesome, I'm being recognized for my athletic ability. Almost everyone else is able-bodied. I'm finally being seen for the athlete that I am by the organization that runs athletics. I thought, this is wicked. And my coach was really proud of me, so we both went along the first session. We rock up there, and the motivational talk that we were supposed to be having was in a venue that was not wheelchair accessible. There were steps to get into the lecture theatre. And I thought, wow, they haven't thought this through. I'm in my wheelchair, and I was like, luckily enough for me, I can walk, so I could manage those few steps and I could get down there. Although it wasn't the ideal situation, as I'm much more comfortable in my wheelchair and it's easier for me to get around. But there was a guy that was a thrower and he had more severe CP than me, and I was just thinking, how is he going to get down there? This is something that should be considered. If we're going to be included, you need to consider these things. Otherwise, there's no point in including us. So anyway, I thought, you know what, the motivational talk was really good. I was feeling pumped. And then it came time to announce the coaches, and they said, sprints, this is the coach that's going to be looking after you. Long jump, this is the coach that's going to be looking after you. And I thought, okay, wheelchair races, they must have made my coach one of these coaches and allowed her to receive the funding to get professional development and stuff like this through the program. But they hadn't. So I kind of just, during the training session, went off with my coach and did my usual thing. I thought, again, it's not including me. You've recognized me as having talent and being on the same level as all of these other athletes, but you haven't given me the same ability to get the most, you haven't given me the same opportunity to get the most out of this program. And again, it just made me feel like, again, because I'm disabled, I'm not seen as being the same as everyone else, and I'm not seen as being as talented and as deserving of the benefits of this program. And it just feels like a second-class experience for a second-class citizen. And that's not what equality is about. That's not what inclusion is about. It's not what fairness is about. So yes, there's no denying I want equality. But I also want fairness. I also want inclusion. I want all of these things to give me the same opportunities in life. The way to do this is through more collaboration with actual disabled people. It's through getting advice on how to set up a program or how to stage an event to make it accessible. And it's also about education, and education driven by disabled people, sharing their stories. It's about an understanding, and it's about thinking more than just doing the bare minimum. Because it shouldn't be about the bare minimum, it should be about making everyone feel just as good as everyone else. One final example is concerts. So I have equal opportunity to buy a concert ticket. No one says, no, you can't go to the concert because you're disabled. But then I rock up there and I'm told, you can't use your wheelchair in, the mosh pit, the main standing area of the concert, because it's a danger to yourself and others, because you can't move in the same way that your able-bodied peers move within a crowd. And I think, okay, well, that feels slightly unfair to me because I'm not getting the same experience as everyone else. I'm not in that atmosphere, and I'm not getting the energy that everyone else is getting. But I see your point, so what is there for me? and they point to the back of the crowd, far away from the stage, and say, oh, we've set up an accessible platform for you to be able to be up and to see the stage. And I think, okay, great, you've thought about me being able to see the stage and me being able to see the acts. It's great that I don't have to stare at butts all day. But you've put me at the back of the crowd by myself on a platform where I'm only allowed one other person to come up with me. I'm not getting the same concert experience as everyone else. I'm not getting that energy. I'm not getting, the feeling of dancing with like hundreds of people around you. I'm not getting, all sweaty with everyone else and having that energy. I'm getting a second-class experience, which again makes me feel like a second-class citizen. And if you collaborated with people with disabilities, maybe we could have come up with a better solution. Maybe we could have come up with a little area within the mosh pit where people with disabilities can be surrounded by that crowd and get that energy, but, be safe for us and for everyone else around us. So it's just things like that. And I think this is where we need to learn the difference between equality and fairness and inclusion and being truly inclusive. So yeah, let me know what you think about this video. Leave me your comments down below. Let me know if you see the difference between these and how you think we could go about implementing them across the board. Most importantly, guys, remember to stay shiny because I love you.